Alright guys, in this video, instead of me just sitting here and do a video review for the Valve Index, I decided to do a video convincing you why you should buy the Valve Index. My first video turned out to be a blurry mess. I didn't have the right camera, so I was gonna redo it, but you know what? I decided to just do it this way the second time around. I don't like doing scripted things, so this is just me sitting down and just telling you and trying to convince you why you need the Valve Index. All right, so re reason number one why you would want a Valve Index over all the other headset. Number one, priority for me, and I think it's going to be a priority for you too, is comfort. Hands down, the Valve Index is the most comfortable on the market to date. And I'll go over a reason why. The reason number one why is the strap here. This head strap. It looks just like a normal head strap, but it is very soft compared to all the other headset. And it's very sturdy and soft at the same time. And it's pretty long as well. As you can see, some of the other ones are really short. So for you with like big heads or, like the long oval heads type size, the Index head strap is better because it's a lot longer than some of the other ones. Trust me on that. All right, another one is the gasket. The mask here, the face gasket. Now these here are super soft. The foam is super soft compared to all the other ones. Now take for example the Oculus Quest, for example, or the Rift. The foam is extremely, I wouldn't say extremely, but they're very rough compared to the Valve Index. This is like nice and very smooth. I mean, you could have this thing on your forehead for a couple hours and it'll still feel really good. And you can't have those other ones on for like maybe 30 minutes before you start feeling the rough on your forehead. So these are excellent. These are the best out there in terms of comfort. All right. So next up is speaker. Now the speaker, the reason why it's comfortable is because it hovers over your ear, so it doesn't get your ears warm. Okay. I don't particularly like headphones because after like 10-15 minutes, my ear gets really hot and it just feels uncomfortable. That's why when I play games, I'm a PC gamer, so when I play games, I do not wear headphones because it's very uncomfortable for me because of that added heat. So these are amazing. It just hovers over your ear, doesn't touch your ear, so you're not getting any type of heat. So even after like 2 hour game session, it feels completely fine. So that's a big deal for me. All right, and the weight distribution here. Weight distribution is very good on the Valve Index. Most headset, like for example the Oculus Quest, is very front heavy because everything is on the front. So when you put it on, immediately, even just after like 5 short minutes, you're gonna feel it on your forehead right away because it's all the weight is like on your forehead. So, but this is really well balanced. It has a really nice balance of the back and the front, and with the good support of the strap here, is really comfortable. So that is a big reason why, like I said, out of the box, the Valve Index is the best. There's a reason why if you go on to one of the good third-party mods for headsets, if you look under Valve Index, like for example, VRcover.com, one of the better ones, if you go under their Valve Index section, the only thing that they have available are these add-ons that you put over the mask here. That's it. There's no head strap mods. There's no counterweight mods to balance the weight distribution. There's no that's it. That's it. That's all you get. There's a reason why for that, because the Valve Index right out the box is the most comfortable headset you will find on the market right now. All right, so that is super important. Comfort for me is number one priority, and that's the reason why I have it on my number one list. All right, next up is quality. Right off the bat, when you open the Valve Index and you touch the Valve Index, it's gonna feel like a premium built quality headset. From the weight, from the sturdy plastic. It doesn't feel, it's sturdy, but it's not like the cheap type sturdy feeling plastic that you'll find on like the Rift S and the Quest and all the other headset. All the other ones, like, if they feel really cheap, the plastic is very, it's not sturdy as this. I mean, I don't know if you can hear this, but it's extremely sturdy. Like I said, the headband is very sturdy. It's very soft. And just everything about it is just oozes quality. I mean, just holding it, it feels right. I don't know how to explain it, but but yeah. All right, so going over the lens. Next up is the lens. It's an LCD lens. Yes, it doesn't have the best deep blacks versus an OLED. It's not as good as my Odyssey Quest. I'm sorry, Odyssey, Samsung Odyssey Plus. But with the recent firmware that Valve put out, you're able to lower the brightness of the lens, so it doesn't seem as washed out as before when you're in like a total pitch dark area. It's actually a lot better now. So you can turn the brightness down, and I mean, obviously if you're looking for it in a dark area, I mean, it's still going to be washed out, but with the firmware update, it has become a lot better than what it was initially when the Index was launched without that firmware. So that's something to keep in mind as well. All right, so like I said, everything about it feels premium. Okay. Another reason for the lens is the frame rate. Now, if you're a PC gamer, you know the importance of high refresh, and the Valve Index supports 90, 80, 90, 120, and 144. I can tell you, you're not going to be able to tell the difference between 80 and 90, but you will tell a difference between 80 and 120. I'm sorry, 90 and 120. Just that jump from 90 to 120, you can tell a big difference. And not so much from 120 to 144. If you really look for it, which you won't when you're playing a game, but if you're really looking for it, you can kind of see it. And the best game I found so far that I can tell a huge difference is in Invader Mortal, when you're swinging the lightsaber back and forth. Between 90 and 120, you'll see a huge difference. Not so much between 120 and 144. So if high refresh rate is important to you, get a Valve Index. Seriously, get a Valve Index. There's a big difference between 90 and 120. Most of the other headsets support up to 90. And I'm telling you right now, grab the Valve Index if you value frames per second, at least 120. All right. Another reason you should get the Valve Index is for these damn speakers. They are truly amazing. When people say these speakers are good, it's actually phenomenal. These speakers are amazing. Okay. They're also 3D. So for example, if you're hearing gunfire from your left side, all right, and you happen to turn to your right here, you will actually hear more gunfire sound to your left ear than your right, and it's vice versa. Okay, not only the sound quality is good, but it's also 3D, and this just sound amazing. There is absolutely no reason for you to even use a headphone and add more weight onto your head, like with the other headset. Those other headsets, the audios are terrible. Most likely you're gonna have to use a headphone, and that's gonna cause more heat. That's gonna add more weight to your head, and the last thing you need is more heat and more weight on your head when you're playing VR. Because when you're playing Beat Saber, trust me, you're not gonna want more heat. You're gonna be sweating a lot already. So that's a huge plus on these speakers, and that's the reason you should get a Valve Index. All right, moving on. I think I covered everything about the. Yeah, pretty much. If I miss anything, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. I'll get it back to you. I think I might have missed something, but if I did, let me know. Moving on to the controller. All right, so these controller, at first, I didn't really know how I was gonna feel about these controller, because they personally looked a little bulky versus the Oculus Touch. But now, after 5 months, they are literally the best on the market, even over the Oculus Touch. And one of the reasons why is because of the build quality. The Index controller is very durable. It is very sturdy. I've hit this controller against the wall here at least half a dozen times, and everything is still intact. Everything is normal. Nothing has broken. Maybe a little scratch here from the wall paint here. That's about it. Nothing is nicked. Nothing is broken. Okay, I've hit against this chair at least a few times as well when I was playing Beat Saber, and it's completely fine. I can guarantee you, if I hit it with my Oculus Touch here, something would have broken off. Maybe this little halo thing would have broken off. Okay, it's extremely sturdy. So if you're worried about your controller breaking, or just from hitting something, don't worry about it. These are extremely sturdy. Okay, another reason I like this controller is the strap. It's got a nice soft foam here. It's the same material as the face gasket. It uses the same material, so they're extremely soft as well. And it's got inside here, it's got these little kind of like dots here. I don't know if you can see that little dots. That gives you a nice little grip as well. So you just put your hand in, tighten this thing here, and that's it. This controller is not going to be loose. Okay, you can throw it, you can, flick it back and forth. It's not coming loose at all, and that's amazing, because with the Oculus Touch, you can't really do that. I mean, you can have what do you call this damn thing? I can't remember, but you can have this around your wrist, but you know, it doesn't feel good. You know, you still feel like you might be able to throw it. You know, and unlike the Valve Index, you feel very confident that it's not going to, you know, get away from you. And especially when you're playing a game like that requires a lot of throwing things, um, you know, like Vader Immortal, for example, in episode 2, you're gonna have to do a lot of the force. You have to use a lot of the force, so you have to do a lot of pulling and pushing, and the Valve Index is gonna be amazing. It's gonna shine in those type of games that requires a lot of throwing and stuff like that. So that's another reason why this controller is superior to all the other ones. And another reason is the grip. These controllers, when you put it on, it feels you have a nice grip on the controller. And you know, in games that requires a nice grip, like for example, again, I go back to Vader Immortal because that's such a good game. Um, when you're using, say, the grab, you know, the grab, using the force to grab a piece of rock, for example, all you have to do is just extend your arm out like this and grab a piece of rock, and you're going through the motion of gripping it. And don't worry, I mean, like I said, this controller is very sturdy, so you can really grip onto this controller and not be afraid that you're gonna break it. You will with something like the Oculus Touch, because it feels very fragile. Like I said, it doesn't feel like a premium product. It's very fragile. But with this, you feel like you're actually gripping something, and it just adds a lot to the immersion because you're not worried about breaking the controller. You feel like you're actually using a lot of force and a lot of power because you're gripping it. So when you're gripping that piece of rock, and then all of a sudden you're just using the force, the throw ability, you know, it just feels really natural because you're not worried that this thing is gonna go flying. And when you're gripping that border, that piece of rock, and then you're just throwing, it feels so natural and it feels so good, and it adds so much to the immersion of the game. And that's not including, you know, future game that uses finger tracking, because we don't have a game at the moment that uses finger tracking. So, I believe Half-Life Alyx will be probably the first game to utilize the finger tracking. So that is another reason why this controller is superior to all the other one. I mean, once finger tracking gets introduced, it's gonna be amazing. See, with the Oculus Touch here, how you simulate a grip motion with this controller is just by pushing down this button. So you're just pushing down this button to simulate you're grabbing onto something, you're gripping something. And then when you're letting it go and you're throwing something, all you have to do is just let go of this button. I mean, do you see that? You don't get that same feeling as you do with this. Okay? It's not going to feel natural. It feels like it takes you out of the experience when you're playing a game like Vader Immortal. And I played both. I played it on my Quest, and I played it on using Revive. And I had so much more fun with this controller. Okay? So that's another reason why you should pick up a Valve Index. It feels like a premium quality. It It runs really, the game looks really good with the Valve Index if you have the hardware to support it. If you have, say, like a 2080 or 2080 Ti like I do, you can turn the super sampling up to 150 and run it at 120 frames in some games, like for example Beat Saber. You probably can do that in Vader Immortal too, but it's not a stable 120, but it looks amazing. Vader Immortal looks amazing with the Valve Index, and it actually plays better with the Valve Index. If you have it set to like 150 super sampling, uh, you can have it down to like minimum 100, but with the 2080 Ti, SteamVR actually recommends 150% super sampling. So, game looks amazing on the Valve Index. If you're a PC gamer and graphics is important to you, like it is important to me, I have to have like the best graphics. I'm kind of a graphic whore, so I always buy the latest graphic card. So if that's you, and you want high refresh rate, you want the best graphic, you turn it up all the way, get the Valve Index. I mean, there's no questions asked. Don't even look at anything else. Get the Valve Index. You're gonna love it if you have the system to handle it. I have a 3700 Ryzen 28 Ti, 32 gig of DDR4 RAM, and the one of the latest SSDs, the Generation 4 SSDs. So if you have something like that, a high-end system, pick up the Valve Index. Don't even look at any other headset. Pick up the Valve Index. Alright guys, so if I miss anything, I'm pretty sure I missed something. Again, I'm just doing this like on top of my head, so it's possible I might have missed something. So if I missed something, let me know in the comments section, and I hope this video turns out well, because my first one was like a blurry mess. So if you made it this far, thank you very much for making it this far. Hopefully I did a good job convincing you why you should buy a Valve Index, and let me know. Let me know if it did convince you. If it didn't, let me know why in the comment section. So again, I appreciate you watching to the very end, and hopefully I hear back from you and why you didn't buy it, or yeah. Look forward to more video. I'll be making more for sure after the reveal of Half-Life Alyx. I just got really motivated to start making videos. I mean, I saw a huge potential in that game, and how VR is going to move forward. And I'm just excited because Valve is always innovating, and I really believe that this game is really going to put VR in more people's radar. So it just makes me more exciting, and that's why I'm starting this channel, and learn at the same time, and hopefully meet more people that have the same interests, because I really believe that this time around VR is going to stay. I mean, I had some experience with VR back in the early 90s, but obviously it died. But this time I really believe that VR is going to stay, and it's eventually going to elevate gaming to another level. So again, thanks for watching. Hopefully see you in the next video, and see you later. Bye.